Ladies and gentlemen, listen to me, because this moment right here, right now, could be the turning point of your life. You were not created to struggle. You were not designed to settle. You were born to dominate, to rise, to build, to conquer. But somewhere along the way, life hit you. It knocked you down. It made you question your worth. Maybe you lost a business. Maybe you lost a relationship. Maybe you lost faith in yourself. But I came to tell you, this is not the end of your story. A setback is a setup for a comeback, and a breakdown is just the beginning of a breakthrough. So hear me loud and clear. It is time to rebuild yourself. Life has a way of throwing unexpected challenges our way. One moment, everything seems to be falling into place, and the next, everything crumbles before our eyes. You lose the job you thought was secure, the business you built from the ground up collapses, or the relationship you invested years into suddenly ends. In that moment, it feels like the weight of failure is pressing down on you, making it impossible to see beyond the pain, the frustration, the disappointment, the embarrassment. These emotions can be overwhelming, leaving you questioning your worth and purpose. But what if the very thing that knocked you down was actually positioning you for something greater? When you hit rock bottom, you have two choices. Stay there and accept defeat, or use the ground beneath you as the foundation to rise again. Too many people see setbacks as the final chapter of their story, when in reality, they are just the turning point. A setback is never meant to destroy you, it's meant to develop you. It reveals your weaknesses, your blind spots, and the areas where growth is needed. It strips away false confidence and forces you to build real strength. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has had to endure moments where it seemed like everything was falling apart. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is perspective. You must begin to see failure not as rejection, but as redirection. When one door closes, it's not a sign that you weren't worthy. It is a sign that you were meant for something greater. The job you lost, maybe that was the push you needed to start your own business. The relationship that ended, perhaps it was clearing the way for a partnership that aligns with your destiny. The business that failed, it could be the experience you needed to build something far more successful. What looks like an ending is often the beginning of something bigger, but you have to be willing to see it that way. Think about the challenges you've already overcome in life. At one point, you thought certain situations would break you, yet here you are. That alone is proof that you are stronger than you think. The struggles you faced in the past did not define you, they refined you. Every setback you've experienced has equipped you with wisdom, resilience, and strength that you wouldn't have gained otherwise. Without struggle, there is no growth. Without resistance, there is no progress. You are not being buried, you are being planted. The only thing that determines whether you stay down or rise again is your decision. When you find yourself in a season of setback, do not waste time complaining about what went wrong. Shift your energy from frustration to strategy. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Start asking, what is this preparing me for? There is a lesson in every loss, a blessing in every burden. But you must be willing to look beyond the surface. Success is not built in moments of ease, it is built in moments of adversity. Those who come back stronger are the ones who refuse to let their circumstances dictate their destiny. They don't sit in self-pity, they rebuild. The truth is, setbacks are not personal, they are universal. Every great leader, every successful entrepreneur, every influential figure in history has experienced failure, rejection, and hardship. The difference is that they did not allow their circumstances to define their future. They understood that the only way to truly fail is to quit. If you are still breathing, then your story is not over. The vision you have for your life is still possible, but you must be willing to fight for it. You must be willing to stand up, shake off the disappointment, and move forward with renewed determination. Pain is temporary, but regret lasts forever. Too many people allow one setback to keep them from ever trying again. They let fear of failure stop them from taking risks, from chasing dreams, from becoming the person they were created to be. But what if you knew that your greatest success was waiting just beyond your last failure? What if the thing you see as a setback is actually the doorway to your breakthrough? You will never know unless you make the decision to rise. Every time life knocks you down, you have the power to stand back up. The challenges you face are not here to break you. They are here to make you unshakable. Setbacks are not signals to stop. They are reminders to push harder. What you do in the face of difficulty determines the future you create. You have survived too much, fought through too many battles, and come too far to let one moment define you. Everything you want to build in life, whether it's success, confidence, wealth, or a new mindset, requires a strong foundation. But here's the problem. Too many people try to build something new on top of something broken. They hold on to old beliefs, outdated habits, and limiting mindsets while expecting new results. It doesn't work that way. You cannot construct a future of greatness on a foundation of weakness. If you want to rise, if you want to transform, if you want to reach new levels, you must first destroy everything that's been holding you back. Most people don't realize that their biggest enemy isn't their circumstances, their past, or even the people around them. It's the outdated version of themselves they refuse to let go of. They hold on to the same excuses, the same fears, the same self-imposed limitations that have kept them stuck for years. They say they want to change, but deep down, they are still attached to their comfort zone. They refuse to challenge the beliefs that have shaped their failures, and because of that, they stay trapped in a cycle of frustration. The longer you cling to what no longer serves you, the longer you delay your growth. You must be willing to let go. Let go of the doubt that whispers, you're not good enough. Let go of the fear that convinces you to play small. Let go of the habits that drain your potential. The version of you that struggles, that hesitates, that settles for less than what you were created for, that version has to go. The process of growth is not just about adding new skills, new habits, or new knowledge. It's about tearing down the things that are no longer serving you. You cannot become the person you are destined to be while still operating with the mindset of the person you used to be. Think of it like this. If you wanted to build a skyscraper, but there was already a weak, crumbling structure in its place, what would you do? Would you try to stack bricks on top of a collapsing foundation? Of course not. You would tear it down first. You would remove every weak beam, every unstable structure, every part of that old building that could compromise the strength of what you're about to build. Only then would you begin constructing something new, something solid, something built to last. Your life, your success, your transformation work, the same way. Too often, people want to bring old baggage into a new season of their life. They want to step into a new opportunity with the same old work ethic. They want to build a new business with the same fear of failure that held them back before. They want a better relationship, but refuse to let go of the emotional wounds from the past. And then they wonder why nothing changes. If you are serious about growth, you must burn the bridges to your past limitations. You must become intolerant of the thoughts, behaviors, and patterns that keep you from elevating. The only way to truly move forward is to remove everything that keeps pulling you backward. Destruction is not a negative thing when it leads to transformation. When a forest fire destroys the old trees, it makes way for new growth. When a farmer clears a field, it creates space for fresh crops. When an architect demolishes an outdated building, it makes room for something more advanced, more beautiful, and more structurally sound. The same is true for your life. The old version of you had its purpose. It got you this far, but it is not equipped to take you where you are going next. You must be willing to release it. The process won't be easy. It will feel uncomfortable. You may feel resistance because your old self will fight to survive. It will try to convince you that staying the same is safer. It will remind you of every failure, every disappointment, every reason why change feels risky. But you must push through. You must make the decision that your future matters more than your familiarity. Growth requires sacrifice. Transformation demands that you pay the price of letting go. Everything you desire is on the other side of the old version of you. If you want to step into a new reality, you must first destroy the one that no longer serves you. Faith alone will not change your life. Action alone will not change your life. But when you combine faith with action, transformation becomes inevitable. Too many people sit around waiting for things to change, hoping for miracles and wishing for success without ever taking the necessary steps to make it happen. Faith is believing in what is possible but action is what brings that possibility into reality. You cannot just hope for a better future. You have to build it. And that starts when you align your belief with movement. There are people who have faith but never act. They say they believe in their dreams, they talk about their goals, they pray for opportunities, but when it's time to step out, fear paralyzes them. They want certainty before they move. They want guarantees before they take risks. But that's not how faith works. Faith is moving before you see the outcome. It's believing in the vision before it becomes visible. If you refuse to act until everything is perfect, you will remain stuck in the same place, year after year, waiting for a breakthrough that will never come. On the other hand, there are people who take action but have no faith. They grind, they hustle, they push forward, but they do it with a mind full of doubt and fear. They work hard, but deep down, they don't truly believe they will succeed. So when obstacles arise, when setbacks happen, when things don't go as planned, they give up because their foundation was built on effort alone, not faith. Action without faith leads to exhaustion. It leads to frustration. It leads to working hard but never seeing real results because you never expected to win in the first place. Faith and action must go hand in hand. Faith gives your action purpose. Action gives your faith proof. When you believe in something with everything in you and then back that belief with relentless execution, you become unstoppable. Your confidence increases because you're no longer waiting, you're moving. Your momentum builds because every step you take reinforces your belief that success is possible. And when faith and action align, doors open, opportunities appear, and transformation happens. The truth is, most people are one step away from a breakthrough, but they never take that step. They hesitate, they overthink. They let doubt creep in and convince them to stay where they are. But transformation doesn't come to those who wait, it comes to those who are willing to step out, even when they don't have all the answers. It comes to those who trust that their effort, their persistence, and their faith will produce results, even when they don't see immediate evidence. You have to make a decision. Will you be someone who talks about what's possible, or will you be someone who proves what's possible? The world is full of people who have great ideas but never execute them. People who dream big but never move beyond the dream. People who get excited about the vision but never put in the work. But transformation only comes to those who take action not once, not twice, but consistently. Faith is believing you can build something great. Action is putting in the bricks one by one until what you believed becomes what you see. You will face challenges. You will experience setbacks. There will be moments where doubt tries to creep in and convince you that it's not working. But if your faith is strong and your actions remain consistent, nothing can stop your transformation. Every challenge is a test, and every test is an opportunity to prove that you are committed to the process. The only way to fail is to stop moving. As long as you keep walking, as long as you keep working, as long as you keep believing, your transformation is not just possible, it is inevitable. Your life will always be a reflection of the faith you hold and the actions you take. If you want to change your reality, you must first change your beliefs and then take the necessary steps to bring those beliefs into existence. When you master this, you will realize that transformation is not something that happens to you, it is something you create. Every single decision you make is shaping your future, whether you realize it or not. Just like a bricklayer carefully places each brick to build a strong and sturdy structure, your choices are the building blocks of your life. Every thought you entertain, every action you take, and every habit you develop contributes to the foundation of your success or the collapse of your potential. The problem is, too many people make decisions carelessly, not realizing that each choice either moves them closer to their goals or further away from them. Nothing in life happens by accident. Your results are the sum of the small, consistent decisions you make every single day. Some people look at their lives and wonder why they aren't further along. They blame circumstances, bad luck, or even other people for their lack of progress. But the truth is, where you are today is a direct result of the decisions you have made in the past. Every time you chose to procrastinate instead of making progress, every time you chose comfort over growth, every time you allowed fear to dictate your actions, you placed bricks in a wall that blocked you from your own success. But just as past decisions created the reality you are living in now, The decisions you make today will shape your future. Success is not built in one massive action. It is built in the tiny, seemingly insignificant choices that add up over time. The decision to wake up early and be productive instead of hitting snooze. The decision to invest in learning instead of mindlessly scrolling through distractions. The decision to speak life into yourself instead of feeding doubt and fear. These are the bricks that build confidence, discipline, and momentum. The more intentional you are about stacking the right bricks, the stronger and more unshakable your success will become. Too many people wait for the right time to make a change, but the right time is always now. Every day you delay making better decisions, you are stacking bricks in the wrong direction. Imagine if a builder placed bricks at random with no structure, no plan, no consistency. The building would be weak, unstable, and eventually collapse under pressure. That is exactly what happens to people who make choices without vision or discipline. But when you commit to making the right decisions daily, decisions that align with the life you want to build, you create a structure that can withstand any storm. The most successful people in the world did not get there overnight. They got there by making small, intentional choices every single day. They chose discipline over distractions. They chose persistence over quitting. They chose to push forward when others gave up. And over time, those decisions compounded into massive success. But here's the key. It wasn't one big life-changing moment that made the difference. It was the consistent stacking of the right bricks. On the other hand, failure doesn't happen in an instant either. It happens in the little compromises. The decision to skip a workout, the decision to ignore opportunities, the decision to stay in a toxic environment, the decision to let fear stop you from taking action. Every bad habit starts as just one decision. But when repeated over time, it creates a structure of regret. Just like a strong house takes time to build, a broken one doesn't collapse overnight. It falls apart because of years of poor decisions stacked on top of each other. The good news is, no matter where you are right now, you have the power to start building in a new direction. You don't need to wait for some perfect moment to rebuild your life. You just need to start making better decisions today, one decision at a time, one brick at a time, the way you think, the way you work, the way you handle challenges. All of these choices are within your control. And when you take ownership of your decisions, you take control of your future. You have a vision for the life you want to create. You have goals, dreams, and ambitions. But none of it will become reality unless you make the right decisions consistently every single day. Every small choice matters. Every moment of discipline counts. Every action builds upon the last. The question is, are you building a future that you will be proud of? Or are you carelessly stacking bricks that will one day crumble beneath you? How many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? How many dreams have you put on hold, waiting for the perfect moment, the right conditions, or a sign that it's time to move? Too many people waste their lives waiting for motivation, waiting for confidence, waiting for an opportunity that may never come. They sit on their potential, allowing fear, doubt, and hesitation to rob them of the success they were meant to have. But the truth is, there is no perfect moment. There is no magical time when everything will align effortlessly. The only time you have is now. And if you don't act now, you risk waking up one day full of regret for the chances you never took. Waiting is a trap. It convinces you that you have time when in reality, every day you delay is a day you lose. You don't get to hit pause on life. The world keeps moving forward. Opportunities keep passing by and time keeps slipping away. While you're sitting on the sidelines thinking about what you could do, someone else is out there doing it. While you're analyzing every possible outcome, someone else is taking action, failing, learning, and growing. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who move even when they're uncertain, even when they're afraid, even when they don't feel ready. The greatest lie people tell themselves is that they need to feel ready before they can begin. They think confidence comes before action, when in reality, action is what builds confidence. You don't become strong by waiting. You become strong by doing. You don't gain experience by hesitating. You gain it by stepping out, making mistakes, and learning from them. Every great achiever in history had moments of fear, moments of uncertainty, moments where they didn't know if they were going to succeed. But the difference between them and everyone else is that they didn't let waiting kill their potential. The world does not slow down for you. Opportunities do not wait for you. Your dreams will not chase you. You have to chase them. Every single day, you are either moving closer to your goals or further away from them. There is no neutral ground. When you wake up and decide to put things off for another day, you are actively choosing to delay your own success. You are choosing to stay stuck, and every time you do that, it becomes easier to stay in that cycle of inaction. Before you know it, weeks turn into months, and months turn into years. And the worst part, the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to start. Look at your life right now. What have you been postponing? What goal have you been saying you'll get to one day? What dream have you been pushing aside because you're waiting for the right time? The right time does not exist. The people who succeed in life aren't the ones who have perfect conditions. They are the ones who make the decision to start despite imperfect conditions. They take action even when they feel unprepared. They move forward even when they don't have all the answers. And because they take action, doors open, opportunities appear, and progress is made. The problem with waiting is that it makes you comfortable with inaction. The more you delay, the more fear takes control. The more you hesitate, the more you convince yourself that maybe it's not possible, that maybe you're not good enough, that maybe you're not meant for something greater. And before you know it, you've talked yourself out of the very thing you once believed in. The mind is powerful, and if you don't take control of it, it will create excuses that sound reasonable, but are actually just disguised fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of stepping into the unknown. But the only way to overcome that fear is through action. You are not promised another chance. You are not guaranteed another opportunity. The only thing you truly have is this moment, right now. And what you do with it will determine the future you create. Will you continue to wait, watching others step into their purpose while you hold back? Or will you decide right now that enough is enough? That you will no longer let fear or hesitation keep you from the life you were meant to live. The choice is yours, but one thing is certain: waiting will never get you where you want to go. Your goals are waiting for you. Your success is waiting for you. Your breakthrough is waiting for you, but none of it will happen until you make the decision to take action. Not tomorrow, not next week, not when you feel ready, but right now. Life has a way of breaking you down, testing your strength, and shaking the very foundation you stand on. At some point, you will face failure, disappointment, and setbacks that make you question everything. But here's the truth. What happens to you does not define you. What defines you is how you respond. You can either let the struggle break you, or you can use it to rebuild yourself into something stronger. The choice is yours. Every hardship, every failure, every moment of doubt is an opportunity to rise, to rebuild, and to step into a greater version of yourself. Rebuilding yourself starts with taking full ownership of where you are. You cannot move forward if you are still blaming your past, your circumstances, or the people around you. Growth begins the moment you stop making excuses and start making changes. It begins when you decide that no matter what has happened before, you are in control of what happens next. You are the architect of your own life. And just like any great builder, you must be willing to tear down what is weak so you can replace it with something strong. The foundation of the old you may have cracked under pressure, but that does not mean you cannot rebuild it. This time with greater wisdom, greater resilience, and greater purpose. Most people stop at rebuilding. They fix what was broken, regain their confidence, and then become comfortable again. But true transformation does not stop at repair. It requires continuous building. You don't just rebuild yourself once and call it done. You keep evolving, you keep growing, you keep expanding your vision and pushing beyond your limits. The greatest mistake people make is thinking they have arrived. The moment you believe you have nothing more to build is the moment you begin to decline. Greatness is a lifelong process, and those who achieve it never stop developing themselves. There will be times when you feel like you're making progress, only to face another setback. That is not a sign to stop. It is a sign to keep going. Every new level you reach will come with new challenges, and every new challenge will require a stronger version of you. Rebuilding is not about getting back to who you used to be. It's about becoming someone greater than you have ever been. You are not trying to return to your past strength. You are building something entirely new, something unshakable, something that cannot be easily broken again. You must also recognize that building yourself is not just about external success. It is about internal mastery. It is about strengthening your mind, your discipline, and your resilience. Too many people focus only on external achievements, money, status, recognition, without realizing that true success is built from the inside out. If you do not develop the mindset to sustain what you build, it will crumble the moment adversity comes. This is why personal growth is not optional, it is essential. If you want to sustain the success you create, you must continuously work on the mindset, habits, and principles that keep you strong. The process will not be easy. There will be days when you feel tired, when you doubt yourself, when you wonder if all the effort is even worth it. That is when you remind yourself why you started. That is when you push forward, even when it feels uncomfortable. That is when you dig deep and refuse to settle for anything less than your full potential. Because the truth is, the people who achieve great things are not the ones who never struggled. They are the ones who refuse to stay down when they struggled. Every day is another opportunity to lay a new brick, to make a new decision, to develop a new skill, to strengthen your discipline. The question is, are you committed to the process? Are you willing to keep building, even when no one is watching, even when the progress is slow, even when it feels like nothing is working? Those who keep building despite the struggle are the ones who create legacies. They are the ones who reach levels others only dream of. You are not just repairing what was broken. You are constructing something greater than before. You are not just bouncing back. You are rising higher. And if you stay committed to the process, if you refuse to settle for anything less than the strongest version of yourself, there is no limit to what you can build